Hi, in this video I want to show you how to implement the decorator pattern in .NET Core 5 using the default dependency injection and how this leads us to open-close principle from the solid principles, which states that the software entity should be open for extension but closed for modification. So here, what we're gonna do? First, we'll look at the implementation of a really simple command handler. Then, after that, we will make a command validator for that as a decorator, and then we'll also decorate with a logger to see when our command is start processing and when it's processed. And we'll use the default dependency injection for that. So, sip of the coffee and let's get into the code.
Okay, so now we are in my computer, and this is what we want to achieve. We want to have a command handler that is decorated by validation decorator and then by logger decorator. So when the command is going to start being requested, first we'll do some logging, then we'll do the validation, then we'll handle the command, and at the end we'll do the logging again. So it comes inside and then outside by every layer. Okay, so let's take a look at this solution. So there is a user class, a really simple one, and there is the command handler that all it does is creates this user class. The command handler itself is registered with this extension. It's just using generics to get the handler for the command, and we will be extending this one. And the extension is called in the register command handler. The user registration controller is our entry point to the application, and here all it does is just takes the request from the body as this is post request. It converts the request into command, and then the command is handled. Okay, so now we would like to decorate the command handler with validation. So this is the validation command handler decorator class, which derives from iCommandHandler and also takes command handler as a parameter, and it's using Fluent validation right here. The iValidator is a Fluent validation class. We'll just get into that in a second, but all it does, it checks whether the validation is okay. If not, then it throws an exception. In other scenario, it just goes down to the command handler, like in the picture. When it comes to the validation class, this is the validator, so it specifies the rules using Fluent validation. It specifies that the first name, last name, username cannot be null or empty. And when we go to the logger, it's basically the same way. It also implements iCommandHandler interface, and all it does before it handles the command, it logs some information, in this case executing command and the command name, and after that it does the same, or if there is a failure, it just logs that the command processing failed and rethrows the exception. So we'll do our registration with the default dependency injection of ASP.NET Core. So first we'll need to pass some information about the validator in order to be able to validate, and then we need the validator type. So let's get it. Let's name it validator type, and then got this. So what it does is that it registers our command handler, and then it registers for the command handler. It says that it should be decorated with logger command handler decorator and also the validation decorator. But now it's not gonna build. There's a problem in the startup and we need to fix that. So what this method expects is create user command validator. So it needs to know who's going to validate this command. And now we can run it and see what will happen. And let's see what will happen if I provide the same data in the request body. Well, everything is okay, cool. So let's see if the first name will actually be empty. Oh, there's an error. Why? Well, because the command validator did his job. He actually doesn't let us to provide a empty first name, because as you remember, there was a rule stating that the name shouldn't be empty. But okay, then let's see what happens with the logger. So if we look at the logger, it actually logged our command. It said that it starts executing the create user command, and well, that the processing is failed. And that's because we didn't provide the first name, which is actually defined here, right? The rule is defined here. It says that rule for create user command, first name, not empty, not null. That's why it failed.
This video showed you how to implement the decorator pattern to make our code more solid and to use open-close principle. If you would like to know more about that, please ask the question in the comment. If you like the video, please give me a thumb up. That's my first video, so it's just gonna get better and better. And see you next time.